Karen Khachanov is known for his powerful forehand, which he constantly uses to gain an advantage over his opponents. One of the reasons for his success with this shot is his use of a Western forehand grip. The Western forehand grip is characterized by placing the base knuckle of the index finger on the third bevel of the racket handle, which positions the hand further around the handle than the other grip types. This allows Khachanov to generate a significant topspin on his forehand shots. Khachanov's forehand technique involves a high take back and a full follow through. He initiates the swing by rotating his hips and shoulders, which generate a lot of racket head speed. As he makes contact with the ball, his wrist is loose and relaxed, allowing him to brush up on the ball and impact a significant spin. The benefits of the Western grip for Khachanov's game are clear. Firstly, the grip allows him to hit with a lot of topspin, which means he can hit the ball high over the net with a significant margin of errors. This helps him to avoid hitting the ball along and ensure that he can hit the ball with a lot of pace without sacrificing a lot of control. In addition, the topspin generated by a Western grip gives Khachanov's forehand a heavy, penetrating quality. The ball bounces high and kicks up off the court, making it difficult for his opponent to handle. This puts them on the defensive and allows Khachanov to dictate the rallies from the baseline. So another benefit of the Western grip is that it allows Khachanov to hit with a lot of power. By brushing up the ball, he can generate a lot of racket head speed, which translates into a lot of ball speed. This makes his forehand a potent weapon and allows him to hit winners from all parts of the tennis court. Khachanov has also worked hard to perfect his forehand technique, and he spends a lot of time practicing it. He uses a combination of drills, practice matches, and video analysis to improve his forehand. By focusing on his technique and practicing regularly, Khachanov has been able to develop one of the best forehand in the tennis game. Tennis requires strength and power, and perhaps the endurance to take him over 5 sets or longer 3-setters. Combining strength, power, and endurance can be very tricky to achieve, but Khachanov is working hard to do just that. Firstly, Karen Khachanov is working hard to improve his strength because it's essential for playing tennis at a high level. The sport demands players to be quick on their foot, able to change direction and cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. A player's strength and power are essential in generating the force necessary to execute the shots acquired in tennis. Without a good level of strength, a player's shot will lack the power and speed needed to compete at the highest level. Secondly, Karen Khachanov knows that working on his strength will help him avoid injuries. As you know, tennis players are susceptible to injuries, and many of these injuries occur due to lack of strength or poor conditioning. By focusing on improving his strength, Khachanov is taking a proactive approach to reduce his risk of injuries. By developing the muscles and tendons acquired to play tennis, he is helping to prevent common injuries such as tennis elbows, shoulder injuries, and lack of back pain. Thirdly, Karen Khachanov is working on his strength because it helps to improve his overall performance. Tennis is a physically demanding sport, and players must be able to maintain their intensity and focus over the course of a long match. By improving his strength, Khachanov will be able to hit his shots with more power, which will give him a competitive advantage over his opponents. Additionally, he will be able to maintain his intensity and focus for longer periods, which will help him to perform at a consistently high level throughout every single tennis match. So, fourthly, Karen Khachanov is working on his strength to improve his endurance. Endurance is critical in tennis, particularly in long matches or tournaments that require players to compete over several days. Endurance is a combination of strength and aerobic capacity, and Karen Khachanov knows that improving his strength will help him to increase his endurance. By building stronger muscles, he will be able to play for longer periods without fatigue, which will allow him to perform at a high level for the entire duration of a match or tournament. Finally, Karen Khachanov is working on his strength because it will improve his mental toughness. Tennis is a mental demanding sport, and players must be able to maintain their focus and intensity even when they are fatigued or under pressure. By working on his strength, Khachanov is building a mental toughness as well as physical strength. When he is physically strong, he will be more confident in his ability to play well, which will help him to maintain his focus and intensity even when the going gets tough. His serve is one of the biggest strengths, as he can use its power and angle to take the racket out of his opponent's hands, making it difficult for them to return the ball with any degree of accuracy. Now let's take a closer look at the Khachanov's serve, including his technique, tactics, and the training method. Khachanov's serve is characterized by its speed, accuracy, and spin. He has a big, fast serve that often reaches speed of over 130 miles per hour. While his second serve is also impressive with a good spin and placements. His technique is solid with a smooth motion of a high ball toss that allows him to generate maximum power and spin. He also uses a height advantage to hit the ball at the high point, which makes it difficult for opponents to return. One of the key tactics that Khachanov employs with his serve is to mix up his placement and speed. He often does for our corners or for the service box, aiming to hit the ball just inside the lines and make it difficult for his opponent to get to it. He also uses his second serve to surprise his opponents, sometimes hitting with more pace or spin than they expect. To practice his serve, Khachanov spends a lot of time on the practice court, working on his technique, placement, and consistency. He also works on building up his strength, endurance through combination of weight training, cardio exercise, and tennis-specific drills, as we have just put. Additionally, he spends time studying his opponents and their tendencies as he can tailor his serve to exploit their weakness. However, in order to execute his shots with the precision and control, Khachanov relies heavily on his footwork. Khachanov's footwork is characterized by a quick, explosive movement that allows him to get into position to hit his shots. He uses a split step to anticipate his opponent's shots and then takes quick steps to adjust his position and get into a proper hitting position. Khachanov also uses a wide stance when hitting his forehand, which allows him to generate power and control on his shots. To maintain his intense practice regimen, Khachanov focuses on drills that improve his footwork and agility on the tennis court. He does ladder drills, where he steps into and out of the square or on a ladder as quickly as possible. To improve his foot speed and coordination, he also uses cones to practice moving and lateral and changing direction quickly, which is essential for his style of play. Khachanov also does plyometric exercises such as jumping box, bounding to improve his explosiveness and improve on the power on the tennis court. He also incorporates resistance training into his workouts to improve his strength and endurance, which are crucial for maintaining his high level of play throughout the match. Karen Khachanov's backhand has improved significantly over the years, making it a key element of his tennis game. One reason why Khachanov has been able to perfect his backhand is through his practice, or this practice. He understands that the more he works on it, the more consistent and effective it will become. His dedication to practice has helped him improve the jerkiness of his swing motion, allowing him to hit the backhand with more confidence over the time and also increase his precision. Another reason why Khachanov has been able to improve his backhand is his commitment to using it more often during the matches. He recognized that relying solely on his forehand can make him become predictable and easy to defend against. So by incorporating his backhand more into his game plan, Khachanov has been able to catch opponents off guard and create more opportunities to hit winners. One of the biggest strengths of Khachanov's backhand is the ability to hit down the line winners. When he gets a short ball, he can unleash a powerful backhand that often catches his opponents off guard. This shot is the statement of his hard work and dedication when he came to improve his backhand over the years. So, while Khachanov's backhand has improved significantly, we can say he still has room for growth. That's why he keeps practicing. So he could work on his net play. That thing I can advise, or anyone who wants to play like Khachanov. He can also work on his volleys to become a more well-rounded player. Additionally, he could develop more versatile game plan to better adapt a different opponents in a situation on the tennis court.